What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Man, this is nice. It's a little bit cooler today than it's been, but for Easter, this is like perfect weather. You can see the trees are beginning to get leaves on them. Another 2 weeks or so, everything will be shaded out here. And for Easter, I'm sitting here actually doing some cooking outside. I dug deep in the freezer and I found myself, oh my goodness, I found me a roast. Check it. Yeah, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. All right, I'm going to show you guys. I got to take a peek here. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's at 70 degrees. Got to get it to 120 and then let it rest for 20 minutes. And then this sucker is going to be ready. Oh my God, it's going to be good. Trying to drop the temperature down here to about 275 because we're going to slow cook this thing to make it just as tender and juicy as it can be. That's right, David Wiley. Yes, Chef David Wiley. I'm putting my foot in it. So, as we sit here in the NFL silly season, where it is just absolutely crazy, some of the things that come up. In fact, I'm kind of disappointed because sometimes I feel like people are feeding into the Dallas Cowboy haters and making them hate even more. It was crazy because I mentioned last night in my fireside chat, mentioned a couple things. Like one, look out for my buddy D2 Stu. Stu's in the hospital and getting some tests and stuff done and getting some treatments and things, and hopefully everything works out for him because we definitely need my buddy Stu around. But I was mentioning there was an article out there about Kyler Murray possibly being on the trade block, which I don't see how you can look at it and say, let's just get rid of Kyler Murray if you're the Cardinals right now, when you look at the landscape of quarterbacks, when you have teams that are literally desperate for a quarterback with the exception of Baker Mayfield. He's about the only one nobody really wants. But looking at guys that are average quarterbacks at best that teams are gravitating and grabbing because there's just not guys out there. You look at the draft and what it takes to get up there to get the opportunity to get a guy. For the Cardinals, who the year before they drafted Kyler Murray had Josh Rosen, who the experts said was the best pro-ready guy out there. The fact that they went through all that, I don't think that they're ready to go ahead and say, you know what, Kyler Murray, we're done with you. We're just going to trade you, and we'll just grab another quarterback because quarterbacks are next to impossible to find. The second problem with quarterbacks are because of supply and demand. There is a big demand for them, and there's no supply. You pay through the nose for a quarterback. And so when you get one, you hold on to them, and you have to pay them. We as fans, of course, act like the money is our own personal money. And that, of course, we won't pay anybody because, you know, it's our money. But the reality is they're getting paid. So out comes this story, article, whatever you want to call it, that was saying Kyler Murray, odds on being traded to the Dallas Cowboys. That there's better odds for him to be traded to the Dallas Cowboys than to, say, I don't know, Pittsburgh, to, I don't know, say, the Panthers, to a number of teams that don't have a quarterback and actually have cap room. Especially, forget the fact that the Cowboys have a quarterback. The fact that you're talking about having to pay a guy to bring in, the Cowboys aren't going to do that. And anybody coming out with the story saying, yeah, the Cowboys are odds on favor, Cowboys are trading, just feeds into the idiots and the haters. So last night, I'm looking at the comments from my video, and a guy who's like, well, If you look at the Dallas Cowboys post June 1st cuts, they could save some money and cut Dak. You mean going from like the $90 million dead money to $52 million? Oh, you realize that when you go June 1st, that just spreads it out over 2 years. So let me see if I have this straight. Hypothetically, people believe that the Dallas Cowboys should cut Dak Prescott, make him a dead cap hit, and then trade for Kyler Murray. Because that'll win the Super Bowl. That's what they need to do to get there. See, here's the thing that people don't seem to get. You can be bad at Dak and blame and point the fingers at Dak and say, oh my God, Dak is a garbage quarterback. We can't win the Super Bowl with Dak. And the problem is you guys really miss the real problem, the elephant in the room. Dak has only been here for a few years. You know how many different quarterbacks we've had since Jimmy Johnson was fired? Do you know how many different coaches that have tried? You're going to look at this and say, it's only Dak Prescott? The thing that has always stuck here and been the key thing, we're up to 76, the key thing on the equation here is Jerry Jones. Jerry and Stephen Jones running the ship. I know everybody says, Cowboys have all the weapons in the world. We should have won it. Not when you had a defense that was giving up 32 points a game. And the weapons? Do we look at right now Zeke Elliott as one of the best running backs in football anymore? Do we look at the Cowboys' offensive line as the Great Wall of Dallas? Do we look at Mike McCarthy as one of the genius coaches? And of course, Kellen Moore, a whiz kid in the Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay image? I don't think we do. And for people to come out and try and tease and trick your emotions and get you excited and say, oh, we're going to trade for Kyler Murray, there's no way, no how. Dak Prescott has a no-trade clause in his contract. No trade. And of course they say, well, Dak could waive it because he might want to go to Arizona. Thing about some of y'all is, no matter what you have, y'all always believe the grass is greener on the other side. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. But man, sometimes y'all just drive a man crazy. But at least I'm getting down to the temperature I need. 275, slow cooking. You want to see it one more time before I go inside? So I can go inside and relax now. You know what? I'm going to really mess with you. Ooh, buddy.